Alongside Brian Hayes, it's a question no Canadian hockey fan wants to think about, but we got to ask it. What if Sidney Crosby misses the Four Nations face-off?
Oh, it'd be such a bummer. It really would be, because of what this season has been for him, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and where it's going. Gino, it's really been a write-off for a season in terms of team success in Pittsburgh, and I don't think it's going to get any better. I think they're already starting to dismantle that team a little bit. They may be very active in terms of being sellers in Pittsburgh, and the truth is, by the end of the year for Sidney Crosby, he may be playing on a team for the first time in his career where tanking is in their best interest. Tanking in Sidney Crosby could be synonymous down the stretch, which is a really sickening thought if you're a hockey fan and a Canadian hockey fan. And that's why I think the Four Nations was going to be such a big moment for him. And let's hope he still makes it, right? Let's hope he's still there. He's the leader for Canada. He goes and he plays great. And I think he can bring a lot of life to the tournament, because there's a lot of questions. You know, what's this going to look like? What's it going to feel like? How legit could it be? And there's no one more legit in the sport than Sidney Crosby. If he's there, he brings legitimacy. If he's playing his A game and he's playing great for Canada, I think it would really be a marquee moment. So I'm pulling for him. I know we all are throughout the country, and I guess we cross our fingers at this point, and let's hope he gets there.
Right from the start, Crosby was always going to get the C. We didn't even have to put a lot of thought into it. If he's not there, though, who should replace him wearing the C?
It's Connor McDavid, and it sets up a really interesting conversation moving forward, because if Sid had not been available the whole time, or if Sid's wheels had fallen off over the last 3 or 4 years and maybe he was not capable of earning a spot based on his play, it would have been a formality that this is McDavid's team, it's McDavid's era, and it will be likely for the next decade. But that's not the case, because Sid's still playing so great, and Sid is still here. But let's say Sid doesn't play in this tournament. I think you immediately hand the captaincy to Connor McDavid, but it opens the door now for the discussion for 2026, because it has felt like a formality for me, Gino, that Sid is the captain for the Four Nations, and that launches you right into the Olympic Games in 26, where he remains the captain. But if McDavid gets it and looks very comfortable and they play well and they win, maybe this could be a bit of a passing of the torch that no one was necessarily prepared for. So I think it definitely would go to McDavid. I think it would be a big opportunity for him. I think he would relish that opportunity. He obviously would love to see Sid there. He would want Sid there. But it really could take on a different complexion in terms of leadership with this country. And I think it would open the door for a question mark in terms of who would have it once we get to the Olympic Games.
In this bad news scenario, the team would have to replace Crosby and Pietrangelo. Who would be the two guys you'd pick to fill their roster spots?
I'd go veterans. I'd go Mark Scheifele, who's been spectacular this year in Winnipeg. I think he probably should have been on the team anyway. He fits in beautifully up and down the lineup, can play center, can play wing. And I would go with Drew Doughty. Pietrangelo's the veteran. He was there in 2014. I'd take another guy who was there in 2014. He was there in 2010. It's Drew Doughty. He's got a huge personality. He's already playing basically 30 minutes a night in LA ever since he returned. He is a freak of nature. He'll be ready for it. He'll be prepared. I'd go Scheifele up front. I'd go Doughty on the back end.
All right, Canada's first game of the Four Nations face-off is 1 week from today against Team Sweden.